10:24 p.m. This is documentation that I'm going to upload regarding the Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2, criminal activity that the state is in, and the people of the state. Remember, the state is group stalking with the people of the state. Okay, the government is surrounding you, and the people of the state are surrounding you in the exact same environment, engaging in the exact same elements of monitoring, maintain the same exact knowledge regarding everything that I'm doing, everywhere I'm at, my physical state, what it is that I'm doing on communication device. So the LAPD is using a helicopter to engage in what is not only the elements of monitoring, crossing path, and audible activity creation. Also, currently what you see on the screen here, as I am publishing the P.O.C. onto YouTube. So this is activity on a communication device on the internet in the specific environment. So this is group stalking by the state. Everything the state is doing, the people of the state are doing. This is directly relevant to how long everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. Okay, and what I'm documenting, so I want to create this video because I'm going to upload it, and as I'm engaged in a process right now, which I will show you, uploading this evidence onto the internet. This is uploading, I just finished uploading it, and the entity is currently vibrating the apartment. So this is LAPD. You can hear the helicopter activity. That, I want to be clear, Dominic Choi, all of the people of the state can thank him and all the demons of the LAPD, because everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going, if their term in federal prison is directly relying upon the ongoing group stalking that they're engaging in with the entity that's stalking in a helicopter in a specific environment where the sun would never be present, seen through a windshield of the same property. It is currently 4:25 p.m. and through Abigail Peckman's vehicle that was parked in space number 24 during the 9 o'clock hour. You can see the light source through that windshield. That was 9 o'clock. Let's count the hours today where the criminal conduct, that is an admission where you're stalking in a helicopter, first of all, and where you're stalking in a helicopter in the specific environment, second of all, and when you're stalking in a helicopter and my apartment is vibrating as I'm engaged in coincidentally uploading evidence of the fact that you're group stalking in helicopters in the workplace at this same exact environment, okay, at the same exact location. This is the surveillance that's underway on the internet, and all of the people of the state are going to federal prison based on the terrorism that they are acting in sync with the same pattern that the LAPD are exhibiting. And it is evidence of not only the demon-possessed who are engaged in terrorism, but they increase terrorism while you expose them and enforce your rights, which is an admission to Title 18 surveillance, which is an independent basis for federal prison. This is the light source you see through the light source through a windshield, and this is how you know what this third party is doing, and it is criminal conduct in plain sight. This is what a whole population is doing. This is the light source that you could see directly above my head, and this is engineered light that's occurring on the ceiling. This is real-time knowledge of what I'm doing on YouTube, and it's the same thing when I'm going to the grocery store, and the entity knows what I'm doing regarding documenting a third party, and the LAPD flies over my head at the grocery store. And when I'm going to the bank, and the LAPD flies over my head in the parking lot, flies over my bank in circles, and is also engaging what is the real-time threat while the people of the state, let me be clear, this third party that's parked at the parking lot, this is the same entity. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens going to federal prison, whether I know their license plate or not. The entity is engaging in what is impunity while arriving to participate in this criminal system, which is threatening the life of a person. You will not escape, enhanced time in federal prison for participating in this criminal system. And while the entity is doing so, speaker companies, understand that's who's being documented right now. And the entity is not helping speaker companies, and prosecution isn't supposed to help criminals. Prosecution is supposed to punish criminal conduct, especially that which is terrorism, in concert with the state. So I'm uploading documentation of federal group stalking and monitoring from February 13th, February 14th, and I will be uploading February 15th. And what you'll see while I'm on the venue of the internet with real time, and literally as I open the window, you can hear the helicopter activity. The entity went to the extent. They intentionally went to the extent, and so I intentionally make sure I capture it, because Maria Solis Alvarez and Carlo Lopez, who are group stalking on an ongoing basis and engaged in Title 18 on an ongoing basis, they have a good old time sending text messages back and forth. Okay, prosecutorial suicide. They do this all the time in the specific environment while the entity is stalking, and they are already also captured on video, group stalking, engaging in terrorism with those same demons stalking in helicopter. This is a pattern of conduct documented for years. You are at this juncture Engaging in what is documented impunity. No federal judge is going to hesitate to put you away for years for terrorism in the U.S. You are not different from any other terrorist acting pursuant to the corrupt leadership of the state, analogous to what Osama bin Laden, by the way, who we were told by a corrupt government was our national enemy, was responsible for the lives that were taken. I just want to be clear with regard to this public corruption and everything that we're told about is going on regarding our country and those who are responsible for taking the lives of those that are responsible for engaging in acts of terrorism that we're subject to. I'm not making any conclusions regarding it. All I'm stating is open your mind and open your eyes and pay attention to who was telling you what. We were told about Osama bin Laden. We were told about the fact that he is responsible for the terrorist acts that we were subject to, amongst others. And I want to be clear, the very government here in the United States is engaging in terrorism with the constituents of this state, and we're supposed to be a free society. So that same government is engaging in terrorism and acts with all abandon, okay? Knows that it's being exposed and will engage in more demonic acts of terrorism with real-time knowledge. The speaker companies who are exactly who's being documented right now on the internet, that's directly relevant to how long they're going to federal prison. Understand this system. The state's criminal conduct, they engage in the pattern within the pattern. You document the people, their criminal co-conspirator, the one whom they're group stalking with, the entity will threaten your life and fly over your head in a helicopter like they're going to drop bombs on you or shoot at you or come around out of nowhere and make up a charge and arrest you and kidnap you. This is already documented, by the way. Not the bombs and the gunshots, but the entity aiming weapons at me, physically assaulting and placing their hands on me, kidnapping me, defaming, and this is all documented. This is the entity that's stalking today in 2024, aware of the fact that I am exposing the people of the state, a third-party company, not different from FedEx. Speaker companies is just like FedEx, who's group stalking at Silverview Townhomes. I am working for a third-party employer who is engaging in this criminal conduct in the workplace. And as I enforce my rights and put it on the internet because my life remains subject to a threat, and the entity engages in more of that conduct. So while you are being documented, the state is adding evidence against you, and you will serve time in federal prison for the criminal system that you are engaging in. That's why they're threatening my life as I document you. It's a long documented pattern of conduct. And it's also relevant to the ways in which demon-possessed actors, such as, who are not distinct from Osama bin Laden, okay, terrorists who we recognize across foreign terrorists. This is a domestic one. This is a domestic enemy. And let me be clear, the leadership where demons are stalking right now in helicopter and are not you're not helping the third parties who are being specifically documented in this video. You are not helping the people of the state, nor can you. Just want to be clear, what is the prosecutorial suicide of a psychopath who is demon-possessed, who can't think of anything other than engaging in more terrorists, more sexual violence, more stalking, more harassment? Okay, so this is the implosion of that system, and that's what's significant about what the entity is doing. 4:32 p.m., the fake sun remains over my apartment. And the entity is, and that's exactly what I'm going to continue to note. I just wanted to go ahead and open my window because the entity is continuously engaging in what is terrorism. There's no helicopter activity that is going while you're flying at a distance. And it's also evidence of the fact that you are indeed present, meaning you're remaining, meaning you're stalking. You also, it's known that you're stalking because the sun, the specific environment, the engineered light, the pattern of conduct by the people of the state, you're already surrounded. So you're engaging in what is an ongoing mission. Yes, I'm still stalking you, and I'm going to stalk you more because I know that you're enforcing your rights and putting the evidence of my stalking conduct on the environment, on the internet, which is an intent to criminally threaten, intimidate, and threaten my safety. So that's relevant to how long you're going. And I mean, speaker companies is the state. That's not a lawful business. Those are not individuals. They're not exercising any privacy rights while the entity is stalking me in a helicopter. So I want to make sure that you got all of that. That's why I wanted to capture this video. And I'm capturing the what I'm doing online, which the demons of the LAPD know exactly what I'm doing online while they're engaging in that pattern of stalking more, threatening my life while I'm documenting their criminal co-conspirators, the very people of the state who are group stalking, who are demon-possessed, who pose a threat to my life and safety, keeping me under surveillance where sunlight will never appear, the pattern of the blinds while the windows are closed, while I'm at the same address where if that were the sun, first of all, none of this is going to be sunlight. And you remember the disappearance of the light. You saw it earlier. This is the pattern of the blinds once, and here it is twice, and it's appearing and disappearing. This is the evidence of demon possession by stalkers in helicopters representing a corrupt law enforcement agency. That's terrorism on its face, as I'm documenting the criminals that act with them, speaker companies, and the employees of speaker companies, and the people of the state at Alvarado Gardens, all of whom are going to federal prison. The entity threatens my life and safety and well-being more. It is inherently a violation of my quiet enjoyment, a civil basis for recovery from the people of the state, speaker companies and Todd Speaker. Okay, so I just want to make sure I gather all of that. While the entity is aware of what I'm uploading onto the internet, it is 4:34 p.m. That's the significance. I wanted to make sure I got that. You have context because what I'm documenting on an ongoing basis, 3:54 p.m. in concert. So the entity picks up helicopter activity as I begin publishing evidence of the criminal system that I'm subject to while relocated in LA. And this is speaking to what is enhanced time in federal prison by the demon-possessed terrorists that are the LAPD for the punishment for the prosecution and for relevant to the exposure, the threat that are demon-possessed terrorist leaders like Dominic Choi. This is the threat that they pose to the public. This is the system that they've been engaged in for years, by the way. I happen to be one that has lived through it and has the ability to articulate what they're doing and why they're doing it and their real-time knowledge as they do it. All right, so just want to be clear. This is indeed a threat to the public. While it is also a threat, even while you engage in this criminal system with the criminals that are the people of the state, that's a threat because the state is here infecting the American people. The people of the state who are engaging in un-American criminal conduct are nonetheless, they make up the public also. And this is a threat while the state is imputing and corrupting the constituents of the state, acting in concert with them, engaging in criminal activity. You're a threat to that same population as you act with that population to keep American citizens under surveillance and try to discard them once you have accomplished your purpose, or whether they seek to enforce their rights, you seek to discard them. All right, so just want to make sure I point that out. This is relevant to how long everybody's going to federal prison. Everything that this entity is doing, they're going to answer for it. Everything that the entity is doing, they maintain real-time knowledge as they do it. And you're also mindful of every video that I captured, everything that's been written down, every email that's been sent, every call that I received, every call that's made while I'm in the office, and every text message through the group chat. This is the real-time knowledge that the whole entity maintains while they continuously engage in that P.O.C. No federal judge is going to miss that. And I just go to the extent to be thorough and comprehensive with regard to the ongoing accumulation of the evidence and the provision of the legal analysis for what the stalker, that is the state and the people of the state, engaged in from beginning to end. And the pattern of conduct is not only a relevant position in the specific environment, it is also comprehensive surveillance on the internet with communication devices. Okay? Just want to make sure I gather that. That's relevant for how long everybody's going to federal prison. It is currently 4:36 p.m. This is P.O.C.